What's up, guys? Me, CinemaConnection1. And here we go. This is the Yearly Film Project. The first time I'm involved. This is the first time. And if you guys haven't been watching the Yearly Film Project yet, if I'm the first one you're watching, well, let me tell you how it's going to go. We got 14 critics on here right now. We might end up having more. I'm not sure. But we have 14 right now, one person every day, and everyone will do their favorite movies of a specific year. And then when we get to the last person, then we'll start over with the year before that. And we're starting at 2009, and we're going to go back as far as we want. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I'm not necessarily in charge, but let's just get started. This is 2009, and I am, if you don't know me yet, I am CinemaConnection1, and I should be going every Sunday. I should have gone yesterday, but I had so much to do. I had no time. People have been slacking off on here anyway, so I didn't think it was a huge deal, but I'm going to try not to do that. But anyway, let's just get started. Top 10 movies of 2009. Let's get started. Now, a few honorable mentions. First, District 9, Avatar, and Education is a really great movie, and a movie that I think is very underrated, Judd Apatow's Funny People. Now, let's get started with the actual countdown. Number 10 is Star Trek. Now, this is probably, out of all of the big blockbusters, the big, sci-fi blockbusters and everything from 2009, this is definitely my favorite. It was just a great way to get Star Trek back to the masses again, because Star Trek basically turned into a joke, and that really pissed me off because I love Star Trek. I love the show, I love all the old movies, but I'm really glad this made other people love Star Trek again. And really, I hope they do sequels. They were talking about it for a while, then it wasn't going to happen. I don't know, but I really hope they do some sequels because I loved the first Star Trek. And all the performances are great. Chris Pine as Kirk, and Zachary Quinto especially as Spock. And I love when Leonard Nimoy pops up and does a cameo. I mean, a lot of people thought that was a little forced, but I love that scene. But yeah, Star Trek's my number 10. Okay, number 9, The Coen Brothers, A Serious Man. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies, and I think it's just a great showing of this guy who's just having a really crappy week. And I think it's about a week. I'm not sure exactly how long the movie covers, but it's about a week, and it is just a great story about this guy, Larry Gopnik, and his crappy life. It's hilarious, but it's also pretty depressing, and the ending is just totally wacky in a hilarious sort of way. You just, that last shot is crazy, but I think it's a great movie and one of the Coen Brothers' best. Number 8, I think, is an incredibly underrated movie, which is Two Lovers, James Gray's film. And a lot of people think this movie is a real, snoozer. It's bad, crappy, mumblecore kind of crap. But I loved Two Lovers, and I don't know if I was in a weird mood or something, but it blew me away. I don't know why, but they were just, the performances are great. The writing, I think, is really good. I just really bought the relationships in this movie, and I really wanted, well, I didn't want all of them to succeed. There were some where I was like, what are you doing? Get away from this person. But Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Shaw and Gwyneth Paltrow are all great in this movie, and I don't know. I haven't seen it since I saw it, a couple years ago when it came out, but I really like this movie. I should probably watch it again. Think maybe just in case I was having a weird day when I saw it, but I really love this movie, and I can't say anything more than that. All right, my number 7, Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. This is a movie where I could listen to these people talk for 16 hours. And a lot of people said, oh, there's too much talking. I think that the talking is the most fascinating part. I think some of the violent parts get a little tedious after a while. I think the dialogue, that first scene with Christoph Waltz and the French guy that he's talking to, I can't remember what his name is or whatever, but that is one of the most intense scenes, dialogue or action or otherwise anything I've ever seen in my entire life. It is an outstanding scene and an outstanding movie. It's a great movie, one of Quentin Tarantino's best. Number 6, the best picture of 2009, according to the Academy, The Hurt Locker. And I think The Hurt Locker is the best movie about the Iraq War, and best narrative film about the Iraq War that has been made by far. I don't think anything else has even come close. The performances, Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie, and Brian Garrity, are all outstanding. Some scenes I thought went a little, I don't know how to describe it, went like a little too far, just trying to cram the intensity into you. But other than that, I think it's a really outstanding film, and one of the best of that year. Number 5, Up in the Air, outstanding movie that I think is definitely Jason Reitman's best. I do really like Juno. I think it's a very entertaining movie, but I think that Up in the Air is his best, and just because of those characters are just so great to spend time with. George Clooney and Vera Farmiga and Anna Kendrick are all fantastic. Anna Kendrick might actually be the best. They all have this great chemistry, and there's really not much wrong with it at all. I think it's an outstanding film that I could watch over and over again. It's just, and it is one of those movies where anybody would enjoy this. Like, there's not a specific group of people who would be like, nah, they probably wouldn't like it. Anybody could enjoy Up in the Air. Number 4 is a movie that I'm really happy to see that a lot of people are starting to see. That when it first came out, very few people saw, but now a lot of people are seeing it, and that is Duncan Jones's Moon. And that might be helped by the fact that his new movie, Source Code, became very popular. But Moon is just an outstanding movie, grounded by an outstanding performance by Sam Rockwell. It is the performance of his career, and the one or two performances of his career. You'll understand that if you've seen the movie. And it's so complex, but it is so well told that you're totally into the story the entire time. And it's the best science fiction movie of 2009, and just incredible filmmaking. Number 3 is 500 Days of Summer. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel give two of the best performances in a long time. The best romantic comedy of 2009, if not of the entire 2000s. And just, there are a few scenes that sort of get on my nerves now that I've watched it, because I've watched it so many times. But it really is an outstanding movie that I can't say too many bad things about. There are some outstanding scenes, and the chemistry between the two. It's like you don't know exactly how you're supposed to feel about their relationship. You don't know how you should think. Do I want these two to be together? I don't really know. But that is just like what a real relationship is, and this movie shows a great example of how relationships actually work. And you can't really say anything better about a romance movie than that. Number 2, Disney Pixar's Up. And now a lot of people have been saying this movie's overrated lately, and I don't know why that has come out. I don't know where that's coming from. I think it's a great movie, one of the most emotionally powerful movies I've ever seen. I think I can't just help myself from tearing up every time I see a lot of different scenes in this movie. Obviously, the obvious one is the marriage montage, but at the end of the movie, I don't want to say what happens, but there's a shot of the house, and it might be the last shot of the movie, I'm not sure, but it is just, like, when I see that shot, I was just like, whoa, that is, great movie. Now, you're probably wondering, what is my number 1? I've said all the great movies. My number 1 might surprise you. Not a lot of people saw this movie. It's a documentary that not a lot of people know about. When I first did my ranking of best movies of 2009 on my channel, Up was my number 1. This was my number 3 or 4, maybe 5. But now, since I've seen this movie, since I made this list at the end of 2009, I've seen this movie, every little step, at least 15 times. I can watch this movie over and over again. It is a documentary about the revival of A Chorus Line, and what is fascinating about it, there could not be a better movie to make a documentary about the revival of, because A Chorus Line, the musical, if you've seen it, and I'm not talking about the movie A Chorus Line, directed by Richard Attenborough, is crap. I'm talking about the actual musical, which is one of the two or three best musicals I've ever seen. It's about auditions and getting to know people. That's all it is. It's one of the most simple ideas, and it is perfect. This movie is about auditions and about people, and it's simple, and it's perfect. There is... I've watched this movie so many times, and every single time, I am not bored in 1 second. And they give you all kinds of different insights about the creation of the show and the revival of the show, and you really get to root for different people who are auditioning. This documentary about the audition process has some of the best interviews in a documentary I've ever seen. It really is a great tribute to Michael Bennett, who created the original Chorus Line, and everybody who worked on that show, and everybody who loves A Chorus Line. It's just a great documentary, a great movie, and the only complaint I have, really at all, is that my favorite character from A Chorus Line, Diana, is not profiled at all. But there are a few characters that they don't profile, so I can't really hold that against it. They couldn't put every single character in the movie, but really the characters that they do put in, I mean, you see the audition process for Val and for Cassie and for Paul, for really almost the entire cast. It's one of the best documentaries, one of my favorite documentaries ever. I could watch it a million more times. I've already seen it like 15, like I said. And really, if you haven't seen this movie, you don't have to have seen A Chorus Line the musical. You don't have to be familiar with it at all. I saw it. I watched it with a friend of mine not too long ago, and she said she has never seen A Chorus Line in her life, and she was not familiar with it at all, and she loved every little step, and she was like, I want to see A Chorus Line right now. And that's how you're going to feel. If you haven't seen A Chorus Line, that's how you're going to feel. If you have seen A Chorus Line, you're going to be like, I want to watch A Chorus Line again right after I watch Every Little Step again. Every Little Step is an outstanding movie, my favorite of 2009. Thanks for watching first episode of the Yearly Film Project. See you guys later.